Hello, and welcome to this short video on Backend Creator, a powerful tool that will allow you to create complex admin panels in mere minutes. In this video, I'll show you how you can create a simple CRM system with a database of clients, where you can add files, associate clients with salespersons, automatically create a date stamp of when the client was added to the database, and more. Very simple to do, and all without writing a single line of code. So let's jump right in here. Once you install and log into your panel, you'll see the option to create a new table or add an existing table to your database. In our case, we're starting from scratch, so let's click on Create New Table. Since we're building a CRM system, we'll call our table Clients. And we can change the database name here if we like, or make it inactive. And click Create. And we see that the ID field is automatically added. We'll add a new field, and we'll call it the name of the client. And we've got options to show this field on the table page, on the records page, or to order the field by default. And in this drop-down menu, you can see the types of fields in Backend Creator. In this particular case, the name field, we want to select a basic input text box field. And in this case, we want to link this field to the record page and definitely make this a required field. And we'll add it. Then we'll fill out another field for email. We'll leave it as a text input field, and again link it to our record page. But we also want to validate this entry as an email address. And add. And create another field. In this case, we'd like to have a text area, which is a bigger area for text input. And we'll use this type of field for address. And add. Add new. A field for city with a smaller basic text input area, and in this case we don't want to link it to the record page. And add new, and we'll create a field for the zip code. And add new. And this time we'll make a drop-down menu. These are often used for common values, such as a drop-down menu for selecting a state. So we'll copy our list of states here, already in alphabetical order, and we'll paste them as our values here. And if you want to have the option for the user to leave this field blank, just add a blank line at the top of the values. Add new, and now let's show you a checkbox field. This is a basic checkbox if you'd like the user to select or deselect a certain option. For instance, receive notifications. And we can leave this checked if we want the default choice to be checked. And add. And now that we've got a few fields going, let's add some values to this table. We'll come here to Clients, Add New, and here's the table that we just created. So let's populate this with the appropriate data. And save. And now that record has been saved in our database. So that's great, but let's say we don't want to look at every single field of data here when we look at these records, like the address, city, and zip code, for instance. We still want to have this data, and when we click on the name or email, we'll still get their full record with all of their address data, but when we have a glance at the basic records, we don't want to have this cluttered with all that data. So we'll come to Table Manager, click on the Clients table, we'll come to the field we want to hide, and deselect the option to have it show up on our table page. And we'll do the same for the city and zip code. And the checkbox for receiving notifications. And save. And now we'll come back to the Clients table, and it looks much better now. So this view is entirely customizable. And again, we can just click on the name or email in this case, and still access all that data. And now, let's create a second table, then a relationship between those two tables. So we'll come to Table Manager, Create New Table, and this table we'll create for salespersons. We'll click Create, and add some fields here like before. We'll add a field for name, and we'll link it to the record page, and make it a required field, and add. And now let's create an email signature field. And for this, the best input type is a WYSIWYG editor. And for now we can choose between a Summer Note or CK editor, but we'll have more options later. And add. And now let's add a couple of salespersons so we can see how this works. We'll add a name, and we have the WYSIWYG editor where we can enter in any text and style it as we like. And we'll add another salesperson, and a third. And now we'd like to add a salesperson to a client. To do this, we'll need to create a special field type in the client table. We'll come to the Table Manager and edit the client table. We'll add a new field, Salesperson, and we'll select Table Lookup drop-down menu. And this will allow us to choose a value from another table, in this case the Salesperson's table. Then we'll have the Name field. And then we'll have a quick look at how that works. When editing or adding a new client, we now have a drop-down menu with the names of the salespersons in our database. And save. However, in the case that we would like to choose multiple values, there is another field type that will allow us to do that. Let's go back and edit our client table, and this time we'll add a field for an additional salesperson. We'll choose Many-to-Many Lookup. We'll fetch the data from the salesperson table, the name, and then we'll see how this looks by coming back to a client. And now we see that we can select additional salespersons to connect to this client if we like. We'll do so, and save. And now we see that we have 2 salespersons associated with this particular client. And let me quickly show you 2 last field types here. The first is a date field, so that we can have a record of when the client was created. And in our case, we're not concerned about the exact time of day they were created, but we'll have the default be the current time and date. And we'll select Read Only, so once it's created, it can't be changed. And save. And lastly, we'll create a field so that we can upload files. And select the file upload type. And this client was created before we added the date field, so there's no date created record for this client. But as soon as we add a new client, we see that we can upload files here, and then thumbnails of those files will be right here for you to download or open the file or delete them. And once we save, there will automatically be a record of the date this client was created. And that's it. Very simple to create and a powerful back-end tool that will save you loads of time without having to write a single line of code. And if you'd like to rearrange these items within a table, just come to the Table Manager, select the table in question, and just drag and drop the fields into any order you'd like. And it will automatically be updated. As you can see, you can easily create complete admin panels using Backend Creator in less than 10 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we'll be glad to help you.